What's going on, people? Tone Oliver here again. Another Tone Talks, and this time we are talking with Jackie, aka Health Facil. What is Health Facil, and why is working out so important?
Got it. All right. So again, my name is Jaqueline Acosta. I'm a health and fitness coach, and I started Health Facil as a platform to help people build healthy habits because I feel like a lot of times when people want to lose weight, they're trying to do like a health overhaul,
Okay.
trying to change everything at once, and it doesn't last long because people don't realize that you gain the weight that you have because you have bad habits, bad healthy habits. So we have to change those bad healthy habits to good healthy habits. So I like to do them one at a time instead of just trying to.
So what does Facil mean?
Facil means easy, so it's easy health.
Easy health. Okay, I get it. So instead of just thinking that you're just gonna go cut it cold turkey, then know it's about taking those small steps into getting where you wanna go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we focus more on longevity more than just losing weight. So we focus on long-term health instead of short-term.
Now, I just wanted to speak on that, especially in like African and Latin Americanized families, even across the world. But our traditions that we've built have kind of just led us to believe that, as you get older you get sick because the traditional soul food or the traditional Mexican dishes aren't always the healthiest thing to put in our bodies. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's been how can I not. It's not that I don't want to. It's not that I want to break tradition, because there's a lot of things about the food that I grew up with that I still love and appreciate and value. But I also want to be able to, because I know for me, my family, they're not going to change their habits overnight. So even if I change, how can I help them change? So I have to figure out a way. Like I bought this book called Afro Vegan, and it's this brother who turns soul food into like healthier, vegan options to where you can go and take a pie to Thanksgiving or take a dish to Thanksgiving and your family can still appreciate for the flavoring.
That's pretty dope.
But still have the health benefits of not as many saturated fats and so much sugar and all that good stuff. So why do you think working out or fitness or taking care of the body? Because I know last time me and Chef Afiba were talking about food and what we put in our body, right? And what you do is kind of more so how you utilize your body. What is the importance in that, or why do you think it is an important aspect of living a long, healthy life?
Well, it's important because if you work out, you're gonna stay strong. You know what I'm saying? So I have a neighbor where my parents live. He's 74, still runs the lake in like 20 minutes.
Nice.
Like he is really strong, and that's just like inspiring to me that you can be that age and still be able to run the lake. Like what? You doesn't need a cane or nothing, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool.
It's not a little lake if you guys don't know. Lake Merritt is not a little lake at all.
It's like 3 miles long. And he used to run it every day, but now he said he only does it 3 times a week, which is still really good, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's important because one, it helps with your mental health. I find for myself that when I don't work out, I feel like I'm more susceptible to depression and like being sad or not having any motivation. And when I work out, those endorphins release, so you feel great, you feel good,
you feel accomplished too.
Exactly, you want to do better, you feel strong, you feel like you can conquer the day or whatever it is that comes your way. So I feel like that's why it's really important to work out. 2, it keeps you moving. Because the lifestyles that a lot of us have now is very sedentary, so we're sitting down a lot. So that's how you get to be obese or gain weight, or you have back problems or your core is weak or whatever because you're not moving, you're just sitting down.
Right.
And our bodies are not used to doing that. We're supposed to be moving. And what else? And it just keeps you looking good and fit. You know what I'm saying? When you look good, you feel good, and you do good. So. Yeah.
And then everything that I do, I like to make it pertain to my audience, So I also would like to add on to that It's also important, you know, for people our age or young people who are just like living life, trying to enjoy life, trying to have a good time. Maybe you got a job and you work and you go out on the weekends and you get fucked up and you go clubbing and blah, 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 you know. It's also important to work out and eat right and drink a lot of water so you can continue to do those kind of things if those are the kind of things you like to do, you know.
Yeah.
If you like to club, man, you only gonna have maybe like 15 years of that before your body just shuts down on you, you know. So if you continue to you club on a Saturday and maybe you're not a church person, you go running on a Sunday morning. If you are a church person, then you go running after church, you know. But it's important that you always, you know, revitalize your body, because like she said, one, we sit too damn much. We're always in front of a TV screen or a computer screen or a phone screen. We're always in front of something just like staring for hours on end. So it's important to always make sure that you're using it, because you guys know the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's important that we remember that, you know, we're a lot more than just these things that sit in front of screens, like we've kind of become. And also I wanted to ask about, because you said Health Facil's focus is more on longevity, right? Mm-hmm. So what are some ways that, you know, just the everyday person, not somebody who's super into this, somebody who don't even work out maybe, you know, what kind of things can they do to start creating more longevity, healthy habits in their life, you know?
That's a good question. So there is one acronym I like to follow. It's called DRESS.
Okay.
I think I talked to you about this before.
Okay.
DRESS, D is for diet,
mm-hmm.
R is for rest,
mm-hmm.
E is for exercise, S is for supplement, and the other is for stress reduce. So just try to hit one of those every day, I guess. And then
say that one more time.
Diet. Rest. Exercise.
And
exercise doesn't even have to be like the type of workout that we did. It can be just like walking around the block.
Like I do 30 minutes of cardio every day, and I'm on day 26 of my challenge, and I have yet to run. I just make sure that I get out the house, I'm breathing in air, and I'm walking, and I'm using my body. You know, sometimes. So as long as you're moving, you know, and I do plan on to start running. But I haven't done it, and I don't feel bad about it, you know, because I know that I'm still putting in work. I'm still doing the work for my body, but I also know that there's ways that I can do more, you know, so that's something I want to do to challenge myself, but it's not something you necessarily have to do.
Exactly.
You know?
And your exercise can even be playing out with your kids in the park, you know,
mm-hmm.
run around chasing
exactly.
them.
Yeah, my son gives me a lot of exercise, for real.
So that's another great way to exercise.
And then you said supplement?
Yes, and then the next one is exercise, supplement, and stress reduce. And the reason why I say supplement is because honestly it's just really hard to get all the nutrients that you need from your food alone, mm-hmm. only because the way that it's produced, you gotta think about it, because the nutrients come from the soil. Mm-hmm. So if the soil is depleted of nutrients and minerals, that means our food is going to be depleted from nutrients and minerals. Also, we usually harvest our crops way earlier, so we don't let them ripe, because we want them to, you know, get to the store and look good while it sits there. So food is not really picked at its right peakness, which means they don't get the most nutrients that it can get. Then it travels from the farm to the store. Then it sits at the store for a few more days. Then you buy the food. Then it sits in your fridge for a few more days. And think about it, every day that as soon as your food gets picked from harvest, it loses nutrients every day.
Every moment, every second.
Exactly. So if you think about how long it travels, who knows? Maybe you're buying food that comes all the way from Mexico, you know, or Hawaii, or whatever it is that you're buying. So it takes all this time for you to get to the store, then take to your fridge, and then you cut it and cook it, which means it loses even more nutrients. So that's why I'm saying it's really impossible to get all the nutrients from your food, which is really important to supplement.
Yeah, that's something that a chef of FIBA brought up last time we had a tone talk with him, and it stuck out to me. Because I never thought about that. When he said, you know, as soon as you cut a piece of kale, it's dying. It's losing nutrients. And then you put it in the fridge, like you said, and say you freeze it, you know, and then you eat it, and you don't finish it all. And maybe you want to, you know, use some for leftovers. People don't realize this. And that's something for me. I was against supplements before talking to him. Not to say I'm just like, oh, supplement crazy, let's go. But it is something that now I have to consider a lot more, because I didn't realize you know, how many nutrients, how much time is going on. You just don't know. You don't know what process your food goes through. Even if you're vegan and eating as healthy as you possibly can, unless you're growing it yourself or you're going to the farmer's market and you got a great relationship with that farmer and you know when they harvest and blah, 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 you don't know. So it is important to make sure you're getting those supplements and read the supplements and make sure they're not giving you some BS too, because that's not, you know, it's not no kind of like a law they have to follow or anything like that. They can just sell you some crap, so be mindful. But that's a great point. Supplements are important, and it's, you know, I take a one a day daily, and I take some spirulina. I just take that right now. You know, I don't go crazy with it, but it is something that now I want to consider more options of what my body may be lacking as far as the things I eat. You know, so a lot of times people will tell you, oh, if you're on this kind of diet, you might need meat because if all you eat is this, you're missing this, that, and the third. You don't need meat if you're getting the healthy, correct supplements that are giving you those nutrients that maybe you're missing. Maybe you're missing iron. Okay, go take some iron supplement. Maybe you're missing, you know, zinc. Take you a zinc supplement if you're not getting enough of it from your diet alone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, great point. Something I haven't considered enough, and I need to consider more. As the Own Your Life Challenge is always about growing, learning, never thinking you know it all, always being open to accepting new information. And then the last one was
stress reduce.
Stress reduce.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's some advice you got for ways we can reduce stress? Because so many people I know are dealing with stress, including myself. How do we do this? You know?
I mean, me too. Meditation, like you do.
Right.
That's
right.
Really
I always vouch for meditation.
Saying positive affirmations. You know, so it's getting rid of the negative words and replacing them with positive words. I find it really helpful that when I'm feeling like, oh my God, the world is horrible, you know, I'm not gonna move forward or whatever, I just start saying things that I'm grateful for, and then it just puts you in this positive trance, I guess, and it just makes you feel a lot better.
Yeah, well, I like to, one, like you said earlier, working out, you know, go for a run, just get your mind off of things, you know, as you start to sweat and as you start to, you know, build that energy through that, and then, like you said earlier, those endorphins start to be released, you get that feeling of accomplishment, which can, you know, a lot of the times, I forget who said this, it was the dude who invented Taoism, I forget. It's like a great, you know, philosopher from Asia, some guy, right? And he says that stress is when you're living in the past. Anxiety is when you're living in the future. And peace is when you're living in the present.
That makes sense.
Right. So a lot of times we're stressing or we're filled with anxiety. What we're really doing is we're just not in the moment. We're not living in the moment. So sometimes for myself, I do things that put me back in the moment. I do music, so I go to the studio, I create some music, I put a beat on, I try to write. I go to the kitchen, I cook. Cooking always puts me in the present, because when that fire going, boy, you gotta just be mindful of it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you're doing. You can't be thinking about all the woes and worries of the world. You know, you gotta be in that moment. And then, for example, say you are working out, you know, and like I was telling you the other time we worked out at the lake, say you get into that number and you got 3 more push-ups to do or whatever the case may be, and you start to get overwhelmed with how hard it is, with how much further you have to go. What I do, and this is not only with working out, but I'm just using this as an example. I find things in my surroundings. So say in this moment, if I start stressing out, I find, okay, there's a tennis ball on the table, right? So I'll take this tennis ball and I just start analyzing the fuck out of this tennis ball, because I know it's not going nowhere. It's right here, right now, and I'm putting myself back in the moment. Okay, there's a P, an E, 2 N's, a 4. There's a little, like, you know, separation from the P. I don't even know what that's for, you know. And you really just taking your mind off of that. It's kind of like just a trick to meditate in the moment, kind of, you know. And then eating, diet, that's also a good stress reducer. Don't get crazy with it. Not a tub of ice cream.
No.
Not a bunch of chocolate, but getting you something in your body, giving your body what it needs. Maybe we feel bad sometime and we want to jump to comfort food. Especially black people, we got a lot of comfort food, baby, and we just run to it when times are hard. And not to say give it all up, which would be ideal, but not to tell you to do that, because it's about Facil. It's about doing it easy. It's about longevity. So we're going backwards. We started on E. We started with exercise, went to supplement, and then stress reduction, stress reduce, and now we're gonna bring it back to the beginning of the DRESS acronym, D, diet. And I know we've covered diet in the interview I did with Chef Afiba, but why do you think diet is so important to living a long, healthy life, and just as far as Health Facil goes, and just all that encompass, why is diet so important to you?
Man, diet is very, very important. I don't know if you heard the saying before, but that our bodies are strong enough to heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally heal itself from whatever illness that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from your food.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're eating food that has no nutritional value whatsoever, you're putting food in your body, but you're not really feeding your body.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving it what it needs to be able to perform to its higher optimal level. So that's why it's really important. And also there's the foods that are not that good for you can make you depressed, can make you gain weight. So whatever bad feelings that you're having may come from your food. So that's why it's really important to eat well, so you can perform well, think well, feel well, and do well.
It's for sure something to consider as far as the foods we're putting in our body, especially in America. We have so many options of everything that we kind of get lost in the sauce a bit. But are we hurting ourselves? Pay attention to your body, listen to your body. And if it's telling you, well, yeah, this shit tastes good, but it ain't coming out too well, or got a lot of grumbling up here that don't feel good. It's talking to you. Or if you get the itis. Or if you get the itis, exactly.
Food should give you energy, not make you sleepy.
Hey, think about that.
Yeah, man.
If you're eating every night and every you finish, you got the biggest plate and it was hella bomb. Barbecue ribs and potatoes and all the yams, all that.
Oh my God.
And then you just done for the whole night. It might not be, it's definitely not what food is for. It's not to put you to sleep, it's for sure to give you energy. So just think about that, when it comes to living your most optimal lifestyle. And then after diet, there is rest. And you say rest is super, super important. We live in a country where we don't get rest. We got jobs, we got kids, we got extracurricular activities, we got the club to get to, we got bitches to holler at. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna fit in time into our lives to get rest?
Well, you have to make rest a priority first of all. If it's not a priority for you to get a good amount of rest, then you're not gonna get a good amount of rest because you're not gonna care. You know what I'm saying? So for me, rest is a priority. So if I know I gotta wake up early the next day, I'm gonna make sure I gotta do all the things I need to get done for me to go to sleep on time. I mean, granted, I am human. That's still a challenge for me still to this day. I don't always get to get a full night of sleep, but I try my best every day. That's something I think about consciously. So a great way to make sure you get your rest is to plan out your day, write down what you need to get done, because when you have goals that you need to tackle for the day, then it's easier for you to get them done instead of just like wandering around aimlessly. Little like Zig Ziglar. You know who Zig Ziglar is?
No.
Oh my God, he's so awesome. He's a motivational speaker.
Okay.
He says, don't be a wandering generality. You have to be a meaningful specific. So, make sure you have set goals out for yourself. So writing out your day or, planning out your day and I was showing you guys my phone, the app, the bedtime app. And if you have an iPhone, there's the clock app. Click on that, and then you go to bedtime, and you can put what time you want to wake up. And then you can move the clock dial to the time dial to what time you need to go to sleep, and it shows you how many hours of bed you will be getting of sleep. And it sets you an alarm an hour before you need to go to bed to remind you.
I definitely use that app. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't stick to it as much, but the beauty of it is when I get that message at 9 p.m. like, okay, bedtime's at 10, you might want to start winding down. I'm able now at that point to make a decision. It's 9 o'clock, okay, I need to get to bed, or it's 9 o'clock, I got hella shit to do. Sorry, I can't go to bed right now. But at least that reminder allows me to, to make that decision. A lot of times we get so wrapped up in life, we forget that how important rest is, And one thing I want to touch on what you were saying about planning, why planning your day is so important, and planning your rest is so important, because a lot of successful people they'll preach anti-rest. You know what I'm saying? I'll sleep when I die. Oh, sleep is a cousin of death. They preach this, but a lot of them, they have schedules. Okay, P. Diddy says he sleeps, 4 or 5 hours a day, but he has a set schedule, and he probably understands when he needs his rest, and he gets the rest that he needs. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you live in the kind of lifestyle, Diddy's not living your life, okay? He don't got a 9 to 5 where he's working 8 hours a day. He's working 24 hours a day, but his stress levels are much, much lower just because he's controlling his own life. He lives his own life. He creates his own destiny kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Probably excited to wake up and
go to work.
Exactly.
He wakes up and he's like, woo, let's go.
Yes.
If that ain't you, you might need some more rest, and you might need to own your life too. But we need to just remember, everybody that tells us these things, they're not giving us the whole story. They're saying, oh, you don't need sleep, you need to work. Yeah, but work at something you love. You know what I'm saying? If you're working at something you love, then maybe all you need is 5 hours of sleep because you're so excited to get up in the morning. People who have better diets also don't need that much sleep because they wake up with energy. Like, I keep forgetting this lady's name, but she's a raw foods vegan, and she said she gets about, she's like what, I want to say 63, and looks like she's about 30 something, just beautiful, beautiful woman, gets about 5 hours of sleep, and she wakes up with a pep in her step, wakes up and she gets right to it, But these people schedule and plan their days, and they know what time they need to get to bed. If you got to get up at 6 in the morning, you might not be able to stay up playing video games till 1 in the morning. I mean, you might not be able to do that, or you're going to get fired from that job, or you're not going to achieve that goal that you needed to achieve reason why you're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, So rest is extremely important. Know how much rest you need. Get how much rest you need. And yeah, is there anything else about rest you want to touch on?
Yes, actually, I was going to say that. So tying it back a little bit back to fitness, if you're trying to lose weight and you feel like you find it difficult for you to lose abdominal fat, one of the probable reasons why that's happening is because you're not getting enough rest. And when you don't get enough rest, you tend to stress more, which means your cortisol level goes up, which holds your abdominal fat. And also, getting rest is a great way to recover, let your body recover, and let it perform, the next day. So much goes on in our sleep, guys. So much, we're still living when we go to sleep. When we go to sleep, we're not dying, we're not dead. Even though our senses are taking a break, they're shutting down, our body is at work. When our active minds are up in the day and then they take their slumber, our internal minds turn on and start rewiring and recovering and rejuvenating our bodies, so that we now are taking all that energy that we took in and working with that energy and making it useful for the next day. So there's so many important elements of sleep, why we need it, why it's important. And is there anything else that you want to tell the people, who are just interested in changing their life, who, want to make that long-lasting change that Health Facil is all about?
Any last little tidbits that you might want to share with the viewers?
So first of all, take it step by step. Understand that it's like they say, it's not a diet; it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So understand that this is a life that you're trying to live. So take it step by step. You're gonna have a long life. So it doesn't have to be all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more sustainable that way. And two, also try to create or make a positive environment for you to be able to succeed. So that means talking to your friends or your family. Let them know that you want to become healthier, because lots of times if we're not healthy, that means that people around us are not that very healthy either. Because birds of a feather flock together. So if try to change your environment, let them know, like, hey, I'm trying to become healthier, let's do it. If they're not trying to do it, then maybe you shouldn't be hanging out with them that much. It's time to let that go, and they'll come back later. It's okay. You have to do you have to take care of yourself first.
That's a difficult one, for people to let go of their friends and their loved ones to make a better change. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely hard.
Especially, a lot of people our age, we smoke a lot. If you want to make a change for your life, and you want to stop smoking as much, but your whole circle smoke, everybody smoke, trust me, that's me, y'all, that's me. It's hard. It's hard to do it. So, I still smoke, but I'm very conscious about when I'm doing it, why I'm doing it. Do I need to be sitting in a 4 blunt rotation? No. You know what I'm saying? You just don't need that if you don't want that, and you got to be mindful of that. And don't be upset with your friends, families, and partners, loved ones if they're not super on board with you, because remember, this is your change. They might not be ready for that change yet, but inform them that you want to make a change. And if they don't want to jump on board, don't pressure them. Don't be mad if they come at you with they try to hate on you. Don't feed into that, okay? Because that's all that is other people's insecurities coming out in a way to try and knock you down. So do not feed into that. The best way is to just heal them with kindness. You work on you. You live in a house full of people ain't doing what you're doing, and over time, over a couple of months, they see you changing. Yeah, they gonna talk shit about you. Yeah, they gonna clown you. But after a while, when you're not looking, they gonna sneak some veggies in too. They gonna sneak a workout in, some push-ups in their room with the door locked, because they see you growing, they see you shining. So you gonna help. Just by being you, just by helping yourself, you're going to help everything around you, And it's important to keep that in mind so you don't get lost in the negativity that sometimes comes with wanting to better yourself, And, I think that's it. So for sure, check out healthfacil.com, Health Facil on Instagram.
Yes.
On Twitter as well.
No Twitter.
No Twitter? On Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Health Facil on Snapchat. And on Facebook, they can check out your personal page?
Yes.
What's
Jaqueline Acosta. Jaqueline Acosta.
Okay, and we'll have it right here so you guys can know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you again, Health Facil. Own Your Life Challenge, TonyOliver.com, HealthFacil.com. Guys, own your lives. We love you. Thank you again, Jackie. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.